Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Welcome to Thirsty Thursday, Sense and Nonsense. We are in a different location today. We opted not to go out on the deck in 101 degree heat here at Shea Clinkscale. Actually, our home definitely should be called Shea Siemens because it is my wife's. This office where we are working now is not exactly neat as a pin, and the rest of the house is absolutely neat as a pin. So it should be Shea Siemens. She is away on work. So I said, hey, Joe, you want to come over? And he said, yeah. So we aren't in the basement of Shea Spiker. We are here, and we are about to enjoy a couple of beers from fine breweries we have had beer from before, but we haven't had these beers from Santa Fe Liquors, and looking forward to that. Joe has what looks to be a nice, robust fact check. I know that I said some things between the last time and not on the podcast, and I said, fact check, that's a fact check. I don't even know if you remember those ones. But anyway, that's what we do here. We talk about nonsensical things, sensical things, happy things, mostly, and we drink some beers, and we have some fun. And on a day like today, when life's little challenges have been there, then it's nice to kick back and have a couple of beverages and share some time with a good friend, which is what we will do coming up next. It's Thirsty Thursdays, sense, lots of nonsense, lots of sense, though, right here on Thirsty Thursday, Sense and Nonsense. Salute, and let's get rolling.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here at the 23rd Street Brewery with Matt Llewellyn. And Matt, basketball's over, football's still a few months away, but there's always fun to be had at the 23rd Street Brewery.
Absolutely. We've always got something going on here. The games are always going on. It's a great place to come enjoy everything out on the patio. Beautiful scenery out there. Great beer. I've got a great brewer, great food. It's always fun here at the brewery.
And the atmosphere is great and friendly and warm, too.
We always want to make sure you're a lot happier when you leave than you were when you came in.
Always fun here at the 23rd Street Brewery at 23rd and Castle. Make sure to come by when you're in Lawrence.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed. And if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Vision's goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300. If you'd like to join these and other fine sponsors and market your business to Kansas City's #1 variety podcast, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to working with you.
Hey, Danny. Over here in your humble abode.
Yes.
We got ourselves a nice rice beer here to start off.
Yes.
You know, everybody wants to complain about how hot it is outside, Danny. I'm out in it all day. I love it. I love it when it's hot.
Ooh.
Is it good?
This is a good starter beer on a hot day.
Well, it's got a dragon on it.
It is from Tox Brewing Company, which we had last time. And they had the crazy cemetery deal. But this is Year of the Dragon Rice Lager. So obviously it's supposed to be some kind of a takeoff of a Japanese or Asian beer of some kind.
Yeah.
And it is a refreshing beer for a cool day, for a hot day.
Yeah, a cool day. It is refreshing. I don't love rice beers.
I don't either, and this might be the best rice beer I've had. I usually drink a rice beer when I go and eat sushi or something like that.
Me too.
A Sapporo or whatever.
Oh, I think this is better than that.
Oh, yeah, I do too. I like
doesn't
this.
have that sort of metallic-y back
If you
end.
like, and we're pouring it out of a can. Of course, Joe has a fancy glass, but I'm drinking right from the can like a real man.
I'm a glass snob now, Danny. What can I say?
I think it's...
You've turned me into a beer snob. You know, I wasn't a beer snob when I started this podcast with you.
But it was your idea to do Thirsty Thursdays.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yes, it was. It was totally your idea.
And what year was that? That may come up in the fact check.
It was, I think the first one was in late 2019.
You were supposed to look. It is not 2000.
We'll look, now we'll look afterwards. We'll talk about it next time. I've spent too much time looking at my lists of podcasts today.
Yeah, Danny's had a tough day, listener. I walked in and he said, "You ever have one of those days where
every step of the way something went a little bit wrong?" No, a couple of them were borderline calamities, but at least every other thing, just something to cost you another 10 minutes, another half hour. And, it was supposed to be a nice leisurely day, and it ended up me scrambling out the door to go to the open house at Sporting Kansas City's new offices down in the River Market, which are lovely.
Oh, they opened offices in the River Market.
Yeah, they were downtown. These are their business office.
Okay.
So they have 3 different office spaces, one out at the training facility, now one in the River Market, which used to be right downtown, and one at Swope Park.
I just assumed they were out at the stadium like everybody.
They do have an office facility out there, and that's where they do a lot of the media and stuff. This is more for the sales department, things like that.
I used to live in the River Market, Danny.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Oh, yeah, we lived down there off of Delaware before there was anything down there. No grocery store, no nothing. It was just Harry's Country Club and me, 26-year-old me, stumbling home from Harry's Country Club to the 3rd and Delaware. Have you been to Harry's Country Club?
Yes, I have.
I was in my bourbon days, Danny, and I got through most of them on the wall there.
Yeah, it's like the wall of foam at
Old Chicago. Is that where that was?
Old Chicago in Lawrence. Yes, where I stopped. I made the decision to stop trying to achieve the wall of foam at one point.
Yeah, because you drank a jalapeno beer or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a pickle beer, and there were some bad beers, and not just that, but eventually that was part of the decision making process. I talked about this before, I think, but the other part was, do you really want to be on the wall of foam? Do you really want to be known as the guy who drank all 100 and whatever it was, 11 taps or something like that? It was over 110. I know.
What do you think of this beer?
I think we don't grade on a scale, and we both say that we don't like rice beers, and I'm going to give it a 6.9, which for a rice beer, that's high for me.
Yeah,
and it's nice and cold.
I'm going to be in the 6s. I'm going to be in the mid-6s, 6.5. I'll tell you this. If you want to drink a rice beer and you don't like rice beers, I don't know why you'd want to if you don't like rice beers, but if for some reason if you're making Asian food and you need a pairing for it for guests and you want to look like you know what you're doing, get a Tox Brewing Company Year of the Dragon, because it is about as good as it gets.
And then, hey, if you like rice beer, then this is going to be a real taste treat for you.
For sure.
And this is also a light summer brew, 4.5 ABV.
Oh, is that all it is?
That's all it is. And I'm going to guess that we're going to do a little discourse on the other end. I'm going to guess that's not 4.5, but I don't think it's a heavy one. So anyway,
we're back in time, Danny. It's been only 2 weeks. We did it.
Yes, we did
it. We stayed on time. All right, I've got some travels coming up we're going to talk about. A little golf travel.
Good for you.
Buddy. But first, we're going to hit this fact check. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as ripe and ready.
He's ripe and ready. We talked about periwinkle last time. Okay?
Yes.
And you had said that that was the name of one of our beers. It was the other Tox.
It was the Tox Brewing, yeah.
And you had said it was a flower and a color, and you are correct. It is both of those. You also said that it may have been a cartoon character, because I had said I thought it was a character, and it was. It was a cartoon clown who lived on Birthday Cake Island, okay?
Wow, that sounds like it's a miracle I know that, because it doesn't sound like the kind of cartoon I would have watched.
But then I figured out what I was thinking. I was thinking of Pennywise, who is the clown in It.
Okay.
Right? So Periwinkle, Pennywise, that's what I was thinking. That was the character.
Is it a horror movie?
It's a Stephen King novel and movie. Right. With the clown and the red balloon coming up out of the sewer. Anyway, it's fantastic. So,
did you know that, because I'll forget if I know.
Yeah, what's up?
Stephen King was like the biggest Rainmakers fan ever. He was a huge Rainmakers fan to the point where he rented out a theater. I think he lives in Vermont or Maine.
Yeah.
And after they had, sort of said, okay, we're not going to quite make it or whatever. I'm trying to remember the story exactly, but Bob Walkenhorst on an early podcast talked about this. And he hired him to come up and play. And he sat up in the balcony. They didn't even know he was there for. I sat up in the balcony drinking beer and watching the Rainmakers.
Just by himself? Empty house?
I don't know. No, it wasn't an empty house.
Okay.
But there weren't very many people there, I don't think. But it was his whole idea. He was an avid fan. And there is something about the Rainmakers included in one of his books. That's why I thought about it.
All right, I'll look that up. Yeah. Okay. How many gold medals did Owens win in Berlin? You were correct. Right. It was 4.
Right.
And I said 3. He won the 4x100, the 200, the 4x100 relay, and the long jump.
The long jump, yeah.
Long jump. Okay.
The long jump's the one that most people forget.
We talked about umlots. Umlaut. And you said that the golfer Oberg had a single dot over his name and not a double.
Right.
Everywhere I looked, it's 2 dots.
Yeah, maybe the graphic was wrong. Or maybe I had one too many rice wines when I was watching the golf. I don't know.
Some of the umlauts that I saw were placed very closely together. So if it's a weird font,
maybe that
could look like one.
Maybe that was it.
We'll give you a break on that. You were supposed to look up and see when we started the podcast. I say it's 2020. You say it's 2019.
So that'll be deferred. That'll be deferred to the next time.
Where does sus come from? You brought this up last time. You said, fact check, Joe. Where does sus come from? To suss something out. You want to give it a shot?
Oh, I'm just going to I don't think I'm going to get this right. This is going to be a foul ball, I believe. But is it something to do with Sussex, England?
Well, not really.
Okay.
It is a British phrase. It's a Britishism. I found a website called Britishism. So it does come from Britain. It originated as slang that was short for suspect, okay? So this comes from D. Webb's 1953 crime novel, Crime is My Business. Would you love crime novels?
Oh, yeah. That sounds good.
Quote, he turned to Hodge and said, who's sussed for this job? So, like, who's the suspect for this job, right? So that's where it comes from. So there you go. Your question answered, Danny.
I like that. I like that answer. I think that's enjoyable.
We had we talked about New England style IPAs.
Yes. Yeah, because we've had a couple of them and I don't even know. And they were from like a brewery around here.
Exactly.
Or one in Minnesota.
So who do you think I reached out to about that?
How about Pat Allen of Santa Fe Liquors? Our beers are from Santa Fe Liquors. Pat Allen, the fine proprietor there, was just there right before the podcast, picking up the beers.
And he says the addition of oats to the hop bill, which is what gives it that creamy, juicy texture.
Ah. Well, that sounds like a good addition.
I don't know. That's what he said. I don't really understand the sentence I just read.
Well, I mean, oats and barley, I guess maybe normally oats aren't used, I guess.
But what's a hop bill?
I don't know.
There you go.
I'm back to I don't know there. Right back to I don't know.
Oh, man. Okay. You brought up the Birdman of Alcatraz movie. I got to tell you, I read the synopsis, and then I read about the real Birdman of Alcatraz.
Right.
Movie is not accurate. That guy was a real bad mamma jamma. Like, you did not mess with the real Birdman. Like, he spent most of his life in solitary confinement.
Yeah, I knew that. I think that is portrayed. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And I'm not the biggest Burt Lancaster fan, but it is one of his most famous performances. So,
well, I don't think it's on my list.
There you go. It's a fine performance, but it does portray him as somebody who learns a lot from having the birds.
Yeah, I think